So, hello and welcome to Code It Simple, a series YCS is doing for the upcoming engineers. And we have the glorious Prashad Deshpande sir with us. And in a few days, I have known a lot about you, about what you did, what you do. And people would like to know, and they would be surprised to know that you are a COEP pass out student, and COEP is like a huge big college in Pune, and almost every Punekar engineer wants to go to COEP. So can you just tell us who you are to our
Yes.
audience?
See, I graduated from COAP in 1975. In those days, there were not so many colleges as there are today in Maharashtra, or in fact
Hmm.
in India. So in entire Maharashtra, there were only 7 colleges. One of them was COAP. So somehow I could get good marks in my inter science, or that time we used to call first year BSc, and I could get admission in COAP. And that too, I was lucky to get admission in the prime course like electronics and telecommunication, which
Yes.
was given preference by the students, number one preference. Then comes mechanical. And anyhow, I was doing good there. I was always a good student in school also. So I managed passing every exam in first class or distinction. And my experience of COAP was very good. The professors were good. We had a good laboratory. We had a good library. And I used to take advantage of both. In fact, COAP has a unique advantage that they have a boat club, and I used to go in the evening every day for boating. So that
Hmm.
was giving us pleasure as well as exercise.
Hmm.
And no other college has such advantage, but COAP had, and I am still proud of it. And whenever time comes, we still go there in our alumni, and we enjoy our days.
Hmm.
Today, the Mula River water is very bad and dirty, but
Yes.
in those days it was very clear and flowing. So boating in the river was very pleasure, very good pleasure.
Yes, so this is one thing for the future generation or this generation, that clean the city river so that you can do all kinds of stuff over there. And what did you do after you passed out from COEP? So how was your career journey, and what kinds of things you did?
My career was good. I was selected in 3 companies in after soon after I got graduated in 1975. But 2 of them were in Mumbai and one was in Pune. So I am coming from a very small place like Satara or even villages over there. So I didn't want to go to Mumbai because cost of living was high and I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
load my parents on expenses. Plus, I was also scared of Mumbai city because I knew nothing about Mumbai in those days. So I chose to join Pune, and my first job was Indian Cable Company in Hadapsar. They gave me a trainee 1 year trainee program, or they took me there. They have conducted interview, and I passed all their questions, and I started my first job with 600 rupees per month as stipend or as the training course.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave me an independent responsibility to develop a new laboratory and new quality control setup for the radio frequency cables. And that
Mm-hmm.
was my assignment. And I worked there for 3 years. Whatever I learned for 3 years, it really stayed with me for lifetime because I really enjoyed those 3 years and it was independent. My
Mm-hmm.
boss was very cooperative and my all colleagues were very nice and cooperative. There was a very friendly atmosphere and cordial atmosphere. It's a good company.
So the experiences you had on your first job really stayed with you. So that's a very nice story. Uh, and now we know that
Yes, yes.
COEP, yes, the COEP is a proper COEP college, like the proper engineering college. So did you have some typical engineering college incidences which we kind of see in movies and series and etc.?
Yes, yes, I have a lot my memories in the engineering college. Although I am coming from a middle class family, and although my parents or my father never told me to economize on my expenses, my brought up is such that I never wanted to spend a lot of money on the pleasure, fun, or what we call luxuries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nevertheless, I enjoyed my engineering college. We used to go for movie once in a while, but I had a good friend circle, and as I told you, boat club is one good experience which I enjoyed. I used to use my library and laboratory to a very great extent. And secondly, in third year, when I was in TE, I was selected or elected. There were elections in those days for the students also.
Oh,
I
that
was
is nice.
secretary for CA, that is cultural activity.
Mm-hmm.
And then we participated in Purushottam Karandak, my team, and we
Mm-hmm.
got a good prize also. I think second prize we got in Purushottam Karandak. It was a very good experience to make practice till late night and then enjoy the
Mm-hmm.
colleagues. And but the culture in the hostel, I was staying at hostel. Culture in the hostel was not very extravagant. Of course, there were some rich students, but
Mm-hmm.
our what to say, our class or our group, we we never entered in any vices. As today we
Mm-hmm.
can see the students are spending a lot of money, but in those
Mm-hmm.
days that was not the case. But we participated in many cultural activities. We used to see movies once in a
Mm-hmm.
while. We used to go for hoteling once in a while. In fact, Modern Cafe, which is close to our hostel, it was our regular place of visit. And I still remember
Mm-hmm.
we used to get in 1 rupee masala dosa and tea, just 1 rupee.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever our mess was closed, we used to go to Modern Cafe. Today also Modern Cafe is still there in Limaraj Road area. It's a good restaurant, but that was the restaurant for the engineering students.
Mm-hmm.
Good restaurant. So we enjoyed our days in those days also. I can
Mm-hmm.
never forget my experience in or my memories in engineering college.
Oh, that is great. That is great because I think the message is also clear that you can enjoy a lot in your colleges, but keep the right company and keep studying hard because the enjoyment comes with the supplement of studies, of course. So I think that's a very good message. Uh,
Yeah, see,
yeah.
study is a compulsory part of our work.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, nobody was spared in studies.
Yes.
And in those days also, things like workshop or things like drawings, the fashion of getting the job done from outside workshops, it is not yet established. So we used to put on our boiler suit and go to the workshop and file our own jobs, work our own smithy or carpentry or whatever jobs are there.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how in fact, I learned a lot of things in those days. I use those skills even today.
Yes. Yes. That is great. So I want to know after you finished your engineering, how did you begin your career? Because a lot of the youngsters probably many of them kind of know what they want to do. Many of them know how to get there where they want to, but they struggle where to begin. Like, do we do internships? Do we directly go for a job, or do we apply for a job before we finish our college? So can you just tell us how did you start actually working in industries or anywhere? How was your first job and how did you come to get it?
No, in fact, as I told you, I was selected in one of these companies and I just started going there.
Hmm.
It was not that I had a specific idea about my career in my mind. But
Hmm.
after joining the company and the
Hmm.
opportunity which they give, the management gave me, I thought that although it is not connected with electronics, there is a lot to learn here and there is a lot to
Hmm.
develop here. And I took interest in everything that I did. I think
Hmm.
what is important, even in today's context, is you should take a lot of interest in whatever you do. You may or may not do the job of your liking,
Hmm. Yes, yes.
but if you start liking what you are doing, you will enjoy and you will progress also.
Yes, yes, that is like even if I recall, like I started working as well a couple of months or whatever. But even I was very confused about what to do after finishing college. But I think it's a great message that you can do many things and you have to take interest in them, and which it's not like you don't have to follow a certain path again every time. You can just go out there, learn few things, and
Yes.
try out yourself, and then you can decide where you want to go.
Yeah, that's right. Because you don't know today which path is good for you. Because today's industry and today's job environment is changing very fast.
Yes, yes.
40, 45 years back, the industry was confined to only engineering industry. Today it is a service industry, IT industry, engineering industry, and lot many jobs are there, lot many available opportunities are there. So it is natural that students or the new engineers will have options to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
anywhere you go, I still feel that commitment is important. And if you are committed to your work, you will progress.
Again, a great message. And I have actually heard that you have also worked outside of India at some point in your career. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah. I worked more than 12 years outside India.
Hmm. Hmm.
In fact, when I was working in my first job, Indian Cable Company in Hadapsar, uh, I got an opportunity that also came as an accident or as a
Hmm.
what by fluke. One of my colleague was preparing his application for a job abroad, and when
Hmm.
I asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, "There is an ad from a Kuwaiti company, and I am applying for it." So he told me, "You also apply." So
Hmm.
I applied for that job. Even I didn't know at that time where is Kuwait, but
Hmm.
I applied for the job. I got a call for interview. The interview was arranged in Bombay in Taj Hotel. One
Hmm.
of the European managers of the company, he took my interview. And out of many people, I was the youngest in those interview chaps. But somehow I got selected. I don't know why. There were many senior and experienced people, but the way I answered or the way I expressed
Hmm.
myself or whatever, I got selected. Then they sent me to Japan for training for 4 months. So I worked in Japan for in Furukawa company for 4 months, and from there I went to Kuwait to take up my position as a quality control engineer. Is my first assignment at that
Hmm.
time, and later on I did a good job there. Rather, instead of saying I did a good job, my boss felt that I'm doing good. He promoted me to a different position and I became in charge of the project and operations and many things. So in 1990, the Gulf War broke when
Hmm.
aggression of Iraq happened on Kuwait. Kuwait was completely looted by Saddam Hussein and
Hmm.
we had to leave everything there and we returned to India lock, stock and barrel.
Hmm.
So that is another experience, very painful experience that we walked
Hmm.
and walked and walked and we came to India and later on I got another opportunity in Jordan
Hmm. Hmm.
for another project. Since I had a project experience, one of the Jordanian companies they wanted to build a new company from the as a greenfield company
Okay.
from the scratch.
Hmm.
So I went there. I organized everything. 2 years I stayed there and I built the company and handed over to them and came back to India. Here, after coming back, I got job in Phenolics Cable Limited here in
Hmm.
Pimpri. There also I could make good progress and I retired recently from Phenolics as senior vice president.
Hmm.
That was my journey of various jobs and I never felt I had any trouble anywhere. It was all happy progress.
Wow, sir. If I had time, I would just ask you so many questions about this like the Kuwait experience, the Finolet experience, the Jordan experience. But still, I will just add one more question. You said that you were very young when you actually applied for the company in Kuwait, and you cracked the interview when you were the youngest. So, do you have some sort of experience or some tips you can give to young engineers who want to do good, who want to get good jobs, but they somehow struggle in giving interviews? I think that's a good, like a huge aspect, that even in your competition there were some very educated and experienced rivals to you, but they selected you after the interview.
Yeah. There are. I mean, that's a good question. In fact, there is a lot which we can talk about this particular problem of today's engineering graduates. But only one single message that we can discuss now, or every engineer should really understand that whatever he studies, whatever he does, he should do it from basics, and he must have
Mm,
very very clear understanding of the basic. Don't
mhm,
just do any job because someone else has told you to do it.
mhm,
In my 35 40 years of experience, I have interviewed hundreds of new engineers for recruitment, and 99% engineers have found that they don't have clear understanding of the basics, whether it is
mhm,
electricity, whether it is mechanical engineering or civil engineering or anything. So that is the problem. And
mhm,
you must say, when I know something, I know. I don't know anything, I don't know anything.
mm. Stay honest.
Let us not try to manipulate. Now, I don't know anything about microbiology today. I say clearly, I don't know anything about microbiology and corona and all.
Mhm,
But someone asked me how a signal travels from place one to place two, or what is the difference between radio frequency and microwaves. I can clearly explain today also on the board, like a student of 20 years old can explain.
mhm,
So that is the difference between understanding. And second, very, very great or great important thing is today students or every person, every engineer, he must be really committed to his job.
mhm,
Today problem is the industry in India and industry around the world, there is a big difference. Here
mhm,
the meaning of quality is maintaining or meeting the basic requirements or the minimum requirements.
mhm,
Meaning of performance is minimum performance.
mhm,
But if you take about German industry or a German company or Swiss company or great companies throughout the world, they exceed the requirements of the customers. So that is how they are able to establish their name. Their
mhm,
quality sells, their performance sells. They don't have to do market, even if the cost is high.
mhm,
Of course, the industrial culture is different in India and in Europe or in foreign countries. But today, India has become global and many outside companies are working here. Even Indian companies have progressed a lot. They are not confined to only a limited field. And I think it's a great future. I still hope that our country will be similar to any other European country or Japan or Germany or Switzerland
mhm,
in terms of industry experience or industry qualification. Made in India label should mean quality is excellent.
mhm,
When I started my career and when I lived abroad for 10, 12 years, we used to feel that anything made in India, people used to hate because they know anything made in India or anything coming from India means third rate quality. Whereas anything that is coming from Japan or Germany or England is first class quality.
mhm.
But today that is not the situation. Now you know what is today Chinese. We ourselves
Yes.
feel that anything coming from China, we are scared to touch it.
Mhm,
So the name should be developed. Then never mind about the cost. Cost will be made up. So that is the message for the new entrepreneurs or new engineers.
mhm,
Whether you work on your own business or you work for your company, quality, performance, service should be excellent and time commitment.
mhm. So I think you've.
What we know today, even yeah, time commitment is really not taken seriously in Indian culture.
Mhm,
Uh, that is that is not acceptable in any overseas. culture.
Yes, yes. I think you have answered the my next question. I was actually going to ask you about what difference do you feel between the foreign country industries and Indian industries. But I think you have answered that question that in India we need to focus on giving
Yeah,
optimum.
okay. I clarified it.
Yes.
I went out of my limits and I already said that.
No, it's great. It's
Yes,
great. You actually answered the future questions. That tells you you're still ahead of your time. So I think
yeah,
yeah. So that is great that
thank you.
Indian industry should focus on not just giving the basic quality, but it should focus on giving what would be the optimum for the customers, and that is what is going to make your name, not just delivering the basic quality. And I think you pinched upon the point
Yes,
about young entrepreneurs, what they should focus on. And I would just like to focus on entrepreneurship. As you said that in Jordan, you were given the responsibility to start a company from scratch. So let's just talk about entrepreneurship for a minute.
yes.
And it's growing in India, we can say that. And how do you what would you say to the young entrepreneurs, apart from the point that they should focus on quality, but what advice would you give, again, in we are also experiencing some very harsh conditions, and that's why we are speaking on video call. So around this COVID situation, what advice would you give young startups and new entrepreneurs?
Yeah, in fact, I feel that young entrepreneurs today, after completing his graduation and a few years of experience in industry, they are really brilliant people.
Mm,
They have commitment, they have hardworking nature, they have also some goal in their mind, and many of them have reached very high scale by way of their commitment, quality, performance, etc. So young entrepreneur should continue with that. And the problem in India today for young people to start a new company or start a new industry is capital.
yes, yes.
Capital, place, things are very expensive. The government regulations are so complicated. This is a little difficult. They are discouraging. But okay, you have to cross those hurdles in the beginning. And once you reach a stage, particular stage, then actually sky is limit.
Mm,
Many of my friends and even young boys I have seen, they have crossed their regular field of work and they have reached to a very, very high level of progress.
yes.
But again, the principle is same: commitment, quality, performance,
Mm, mm.
service, time.
Keeping those
The
basic
concept
principles
of
in
service
mind.
was not so popular in India before. Today, it is popular. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
give service to your customer, customer doesn't look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But that has happened today. If you make a phone call to anybody, they come and attend to your complaint. 20 years before, it was not like this.
Mm, yes, yes. So there is this difference, and
You see the
yeah.
kind of service Amazon gives or any online
Mm-hmm.
production. Today, online products are coming. We buy so many things on Amazon or Flipkart or any such online purchasing. If you don't like it, if there is anything wrong in that, and you want to reject it, you make only a, not even a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
You reject it on your mobile phone or in your laptop, and next day they will come and pick it up, no questions asked,
Mm-hmm.
and your money is credited back to your account. It was not like this before. And if Indian industry grows to that extent, reliability, importance is reliability.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yes. So stay reliable.
And I
That
feel that
is.
today entrepreneurs are really doing it. Yes, entrepreneurs are really doing good job today, and they
Mm.
will grow very, very high, successfully.
Yes, so that is one positive also for young engineers to uh, start their own company, and India needs entrepreneurs because we know about the unemployment rates and even so many engineers who are now unemployed, and
Yeah,
entrepreneurship is
definitely
going to
India
say
needs entrepreneurs.
yes.
It is, and our country is very big, highly populated. So everybody should be entrepreneur so that country can grow very
Mhm.
nicely. Everything cannot happen by the large scale industries.
Yes, yes.
Large scale industries have their own place in the progress, but SMEs are also equally important.
Yes, yes. And just to continue upon the entrepreneurship point, there's a stat that today the total of what total startups are, only 14% of them are owned by women. So only 14% women are actually going into entrepreneurship. So, and historically, we've known that women are very important in a healthy economy, a sustainable economy. So, how would you motivate
Mhm.
young women to go into entrepreneurship and start their own companies?
Yeah, I think women today are doing good job in every walk of life, and so in industry also, and they can start due to their family commitments or social bindings. Women generally don't like to start a new thing, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that is not the case in many cases, and they will grow. The ratio
Mm-hmm.
of women and men will become 50-50 in the
Mm-hmm.
near future.
Yes, yes.
They are doing brilliant job. In fact, in many cases, women are doing better than men.
Yes. So, it's coming the brilliant session. I think I would love to talk with you on so many, and I'm going to stay connected with you. I promise you will hear from me time to time again on WhatsApp or something and asking about your experiences, because I think I'm loving it to hear about uh, the journeys from Kuwait and even Jordan and everything. So, just to end, what message would you give to our young engineers who are going to be watching this podcast and series episode? So, what would be your message to them?
That I can give a message. But what I can say is if you have high ambitions and have great goals in your mind, success is always in your hand.
Hmm.
Never
Yes,
keep
yes,
small goals. Even if you have failure or success, doesn't matter, but you will grow if you have good commitment and you have to work towards your goal.
yes, yes. And I think this the segment which we are doing, Code It Simple, which actually means that in this rushed world that everyone's running somewhere to get somewhere or to go back home, everyone's rushing. So just keep it simple and think about what you can do and what good you can do to other people, serve other people as well. And I think the story of this esteemed gentleman here is that as he said, that he has come from a very simple background and he has kept his life very simple and he has gained all sorts of experiences. And I would like to thank you for joining us. And I loved our chat here today, and I hope you did as well.
Most welcome, Avinash, and I too thank you very much and your organization for giving me this opportunity. I never thought in my last 40 years career that I'm a person worth getting interview from anybody, but giving me opportunity, thank you
that
very much.
that is the simple in you, sir. That is the simple in you, that you never expected someone to interview you. But I think yes, that I had a great time. Thank you for joining us, and we will end it here. Please subscribe to
Thank you
our
very
channel
much,
as well.
and
Yes.
I wish you a good success in your career also and your organizational goals also.
Thank you, sir. And yes, please subscribe to our channel, follow our other handles as well, and we will keep coming. Thank you.